And there we go. All right. Now we're back. Now we're back. And Twitch, quit fucking twitching, man. Really fast though. It's almost time for ads, and I'm really hungry. I'm gonna go ahead and run the ads and just let this music play and go grab a snack. I'm not gonna put up the BRB screen or anything. I probably should have, but it's whatever. But we're getting ads in like 10 minutes, so I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna let the ads run, and I will be back here in just a minute, y'all. Man, I timed that so fucking well, didn't I? That's crazy. Hold on, I have to also update the stream info. I almost forgot to do that.
I missed that? Yeah. Wait, oh, I wasn't around so everyone.
Update.
Yeah.
All right. There we go. All right. Now we're good. Now we can get into it. Oh, that's right. We just run into this little kid. Dude, I'd planned to do such a long stream on this day, and then I was fucking falling asleep. It was so bad.
What the fuck?
It was so bad. Alright. So the last time we played this, we had a little girl who had gone missing. Like playing hide and seek, and nobody could find her. And we helped to find her, and it was a girl we had run into earlier in the game, whose parents apparently they're off doing some kind of work, and we don't really know what kind. Hey, bitch.
なんだ まだいたのか。
I'm gonna open up these crackers though. I'm starving.
なんだそなたは。
ねえお姉さん、このおじさんどうしてこんな面白い髪型をしてるのかしら。
なんだと。
まあまあ、子供の言うことだから。ちなみにこのおじさんが面白いのは髪型だけじゃないの。服装と性格も面白いのよね。そうなんだ。
何のフォローにもなっとらんわ。その小娘を連れてとっとと部屋から出て行け。
I'm so glad I came here.
その小娘を連れて。
I'm so glad. I was like, I wonder what he'll say. I have not been disappointed. I have not been disappointed. Oh, that girl is... There you are. It was fun playing hide and seek with you, Miss Maid. I'm gonna go back to the guild. I'm gonna wait for my papa and mama to pick me up there. Oh, is that so? If you ever want to play hide and seek again, come by again. I'll ask Raymond to spend as much time with you as you want. Really? Thank you, miss. Aww. She gets it. The kid was just fucking bored, man. I don't know why I could talk to them. Wait, that bird's name is eggs. And that one is ham. Oh. But they're not green. Wildly unfortunate. No, I've already fished there. No, I've already fished there. Seems like either way maybe leads out. I barely remember how to fucking navigate this game, man. Also, is volume good? Because I did have to fix the volume for this game because Wuwa was way quieter than this game for some reason. Oh, I need to go this way. I'm gonna try to avoid fights because I'm almost dead. Oh, hi! Bear bomb, nice. You don't find anything this time, but maybe if you keep on opening and closing this one chest over again, don't actually do this. Please ignore me. Do not go after me. Thank you. Alright. Go north of the fort. Oh! What that?
あれ、
Philip!
フィリップさん、お久しぶりですね。
お久しぶりでございます。クローディア殿下、エルベリ宮に行って。
そうだけど、フィリップさんはオートにご用があったのですか？
ええ、
Busy.
公爵閣下のお申し付けで。ひょっとして離宮で。
Yep.
まあね。
Yep.
久しぶりに挨拶をさせていただきました。
その様子ではやはり。
Yeah.
誠に申し訳ありません。
とんでもないです。謹慎されていると聞いたので少し心配だったのですが、お元気そうで安心しました。
そう言っていただけると。それでは私はこれで。
相変わらず苦労を背負い込んでるわね。あの公爵が小さい時から世話をしてるらしいけど、世話役 役としての経歴は
But
20年以上だそうです。
Oh,
なんで
damn.
もその前には親衛隊に
The
勤めていた
guard?
とか。
Really?
そうなの？
I could not see that.
まさに人は見かけによらないわね。今のおじさん、ただものじゃないと見たわ。どうしたのよ、いきなり。だってあんな風に目をつぶって歩けるんですもの。レンには絶対にできないわ。あれは目をつぶっているんじゃなくて、
あ
ちなみに驚いていた時は、ほら驚いたお顔も見てみたくなっちゃったわ。
no.
Uh-oh. I'd hate to think what she would do to surprise him, though. Please leave me alone right now. My Kate's almost dead. Although I would love to figure out what enemy, spawns with the pups, so I can do some more farming at some point. I might have to do some farming off stream. And down we go.
さてと、急いでギルドに戻りま。レンちゃんのことについて。
Yep.
それもあるが、そろそろ軍の担当者ってのが来るし、忘れてんじゃね
あ、
She
え。
did.
たく。
Huh?
あらどうした
She did.
の？確かギルドっていうところにレンを案内してくれるのよね。
小さなレディー、それではお手を拝借しよう。不詳このオリビエがエスコートさせていただくよ。
お断りさせていただくわ。レンはお姉さんの方に案内してもらいたいんだもの。
ガ
悪いわね、オリビエ。それじゃあレンちゃん、遊撃士協会に行きましょう。
Alright. Bicycle. Like a kindly dad. Oh. You in the white? Do you mean me? Yeah. Aren't you gonna come say hi? Oh, why do I have to say hello to you? Everyone that comes to this town has to say hi to me. I don't want to. What did you... After all, my papa said a gentleman always introduces himself first. I don't want to be friends with someone who doesn't practice common courtesy. Damn. Damn. That's crazy. That's crazy. General Cassius from the castle? Younger than General Morgan, but he's calm and has a certain gravity to him. Still, why was the hero of 100 Days War acting as a racer? Well, why not? My life has been nothing but a parade of misfortune. My stand broke during the birthday celebration, my sales aren't going anywhere. Maybe I should get exercise at 17 Church. Alright.
そろそろ軍の急いで。
No! I wanted to heal. Fuck. I wanted to heal. Wait. Can I go in here and eat? I can. Seafood hot pot. Thank you for that recipe. Appreciate it. Worth. Alright, now we can go.
ただいま、ヘルナンさん。あ、エステルお姉ちゃん。
Well, hello.
やあ、エステル君。先日顔を合わせて以来だな。
Yes, we do.
シード中佐じゃない。
そうか。軍の担当者ってのはあんたのことだったのか。レイストン要塞から来たのか。
Yep.
あ、その通りだ。つい先ほど警備艇でオートに到着したばかりでね。
そうなんだ。ちょうど私たちも仕事から戻ってきたんだけど。
おや、そちらのお嬢さんは。
あ、うん。ちょっと事情があって。レンちゃん、お姉さんたち、少し話があるから2階で待っててくれないかな。あら、
Yeah.
別にお仕事ってレンそういうの
Oh.
私と一緒に私レンちゃんの
Oh.
あなたとそうねそれじゃあお姉ちゃん
Okay. I'm okay with this. This is a good outcome.
助かっちゃったわ。
どういう事情かは後ほど聞くとしましょうか。まずはシード中佐の話を先に聞いていただけますか。
Yes.
早速聞かせてもらおうじゃねえか。
What do we
そう
got?
こちらも急ぎなものでね。まずこの話は王国軍からの正式な依頼と考えてもらいたい。
Official request from the army? Okay.
君たちにある件の調査と情報収集をお願いしたいんだ。
ある件の調査？
Interesting.
不戦条約は知っているね。
Hmm.
実はその条約締結を妨害しようとする
Oh, no.
脅迫状が
脅迫状？
それは穏やかではありませんね。一体どんな内容な？
これをご覧ください。
Oh, me too. I fixed my bottle. Dang it. Those crackers were good though. To all parties involved in the non-aggression pact, immediately back down from this act of deceit and false compromise. Should you not, a great disaster will be visited upon you.
うわ
なるほど。脅迫
It's
状だな。
definitely a threat.
内容はこれだけか？
ああ、これだけだ。そしてお気づきのように差出人の名前も書かれていない。
Yeah.
正直、
うん
いたずらの可能性が一番高いと思われるんだが。
単なるいたずらとは思えない気がかりな要素がある。
Yeah, I
そうい
have
うわ
to
けだね。
agree.
ああ、脅迫文が届けられた場所だ。まずはレイストン要塞の司令部、続いて飛行船校舎、グランセル大聖堂、ホ
Wow.
テルローエンバウム、そして帝国大使館、共和国大使館、グランセル城、
That's a
Elvediki.
lot of those.
全部で9カ所だ。
そんなに？
なるほど。ただのいたずらにしちゃ軍が気にするのも無理はない。
しかし飛行船校舎に必要境界、一見条約締結とは関係な。
ところが厳密に言うと全く。まず飛行船校舎は帝国共和国関係者を送迎するチャーター便。同じくホテルもすでに関係者の。さらに
Oh,
大聖堂のカラント
yeah.
大司教は女王陛下からリベール通信は不戦条約に関する特集記事を
Yeah, that makes sense.
どこも何らかの形で条約に関わっているってことね。一体何者の
これは一筋縄。国際条約である以上妨害しようとする容疑者はいろ
Yeah.
いろと考え。
そうだな。共和国か帝国の主戦、もしく
Yep.
は三国の協力を歓迎しない。
もちろん王国内にも容疑者。
そして最悪
で、軍としては
Yep.
俺たちに
Alright, what are we
何を調
doing?
べ
What
さ
are we
せたんだ
doing?
君たちにお願いし
I
たい
think
の
the game
は
might be a
他
little
でもない。
loud.
脅迫状が届けられた各所で聞き込み調査をしてほしいんだ。
One second. Let me turn the game down a little bit. There we go. That's more where it was previously. Oh wait. What is this? Nothing important. Nothing important. Okay.
具体的に
Ain't
は
trying to miss anything.
エ
But
ルベリキューとレイストン要塞を除いた7カ所だ。
飛行船
seven
校舎、
locations.
グランセ
Airship
ル大聖
company,
堂、
cathedral,
Hotel,
hotel, the
Taekoku
news, the
Kyowakoku
embassies, and the
Taishikan.
castle.
どこも制服軍人が立ち寄ると目立ちそうな場所だね。
True.
情報部を失った今、聞き込みをギルドに頼るのも無理はないかな。
恥ずかしながらご指摘の通りだ。そして新しい
Yeah,
司令
that
官
would
殿の
make
方針で
sense.
ギルドに回せそうな仕事はそれを実践させてもらっ。
まったくもう 父さん調子いいわね。
Welcome to having more work, Estelle.
いかにもおっさんの言い出しそうなセリフ。
君たちに依頼したのはあくまで私の一存さ。この度
Oh.
条約調印式までのオート周辺の警備を一任されてね。警備体制を整えるためにはなるべく多くの情報どうか。
Yes.
もう
Yes,
一
you
つ
can.
片付けなくちゃいけない。
先ほどのお嬢さんかいつまん
Yeah.
で説明し
So explain the situation with her being abandoned at the
なるほど。
villa.
確かにそれは放っておけないな。しかし、
Yeah.
あんな年派もいかない子。
前に
That's what I
その
wondered.
親御さんと少し話したことがある。とっても真面目そうで、娘思いのご両親ってか何かのっぴきならない事情があると思うんだ。
何かの事件と関わって。しかし、
Yeah,
そ
true.
れでしたらいい。どうやらレンさんのご両親はなら大使館やホテルなど
Oh,
に
that's
問
a
い合わ
good
せた方がいいで
point.
しょう。
ああ、なるほど。
どちらも脅迫状が届け、あと飛行船公社にも乗船
Yeah.
記録があるはずだ。
王国軍も
True.
各地に通達を回して関所を通ったのならわかるはず。
ありがとう、シード中佐。
Haha, nice.
どうやらこのまま話を進めても具体的な調査方法、やはり調査結果の報告は
あ
Of course.
盗聴を避けるためにも実は本日からエルベル級にご足労かとは思うが、そちら
Bet.
それじゃあ調査結
よろしく頼むよ。
Alright, we're going to the villa to turn this one in. Estelle seems sad to split up to investigate. Estelle, Jin, Oliver, and Chloe were to head to the embassy's Grancel Castle in Liberal News, while Agate would investigate the Cathedral Hotel and Airship Company on his own.
それじゃあ私たちちょっとティータ、レンちゃん悪いけどそれなんだけどレンはティータと一緒に
Oh, shopping!
レンちゃんがどうしてもあら心外ね。ティータもぬいぐるみとか見てみいつレンちゃんのパパたちの情報が入るかわからん。ダブルでその目はずるいわよ。
いいんじゃねえのか。ティータがついてりゃ買い物くらい大丈夫
Yep,
だろ。
yep, yep, yep,
ティ
hopefully.
ータ、レン、私たちも夕方には戻るから。
Mhm,
それと、ボートは広いから。わかっ、それじゃあね。お姉さんたち。
Perfect. Hey, bud! Thank you for the resub! The prime resub. How's it going, dude?
さすがに年齢が近いだけはあるわね。でも、レンちゃんとティータの組は微妙に不安なコンビね。
Senate chill of the woman.
どうして
Yeah.
ですか？
That's a couple of kids who could get away with
だ
murder.
ってティータって推しに弱そうだし、レンちゃんにいろいろと振り回されそうな気。
確かに。
Yeah.
そういやエルナ、あの子の両親の名前は。
ええ、なんとかクロスベル自治州に住む
Trader
貿
from
易名前
Crossbow.
は
Harold and
ハロルド
Sophia
ヘイワー
Hayward.
ズとソフィア。
クロスベルの貿易商、
Oh,
ハ
okay.
ロルド
Got it.
こちらも脅迫状の調査。
打ち合わせ通りエステルさんは
The
帝国
embassies, the
共和国
castle,
大使
and the
各大使館に
news.
ついては
任せたまえ。
要するに大使さん。
グランセル城については殿下エステルさんに叱るべき。
はい。
リベール通信は
Oh, yes, I do.
残りの大聖堂アガットさんに。
なあ、
それじゃ
Let's do it.
さてと、聞き込み
ま、どこからでもいいだろう。
Yeah, it doesn't really
カルバ
matter
ー
where
ニ
we
大使館だったら俺はフリーパス。すぐにお前さんたちを対
僕はエレボニア隊門番の兵士に取り次げば。
グランセル城でした
Hopefully.
ら、私がいればおばあ様に相談してみるのが。
リベール通信も特に問題。まあいいわ。
Pick a direction and go. Cool. I'm going back in here for a moment. New short-term one. There we go. When I need to report that. A bit ago, one of our exhibits was removed by someone. Not a particularly valuable item, so it's likely just prank, but I would like to ask. Come to our museum, East Block near the landing port.
お疲れ様です。何か
East Block at the okay. Let's go to the East Block then. So we can go to the embassies, I think, over here.
Oh, see ya.
And the museum is around here somewhere. Museum, there we go. Hello. There you are.
君たちは。
どうも遊撃士協会掲示板に出された依頼。
おお、待ってい
Yes,
たよ。
yes, yes.
早速依頼の話をする。
Alright, what do you got? What got stolen?
それで一体
What
何が盗ま
got
れたの？
stolen?
それなんだが、君たちこの辺りを
There's a
見て
painting missing.
違和感。ここって飛行船の写真が展示されて、言われてみると。
わかりました。確かそこの壁にはアルセーヌの
Yeah.
写真。
あ、そういえば。
うん。僕もオート見物の時、
Yep.
ここで写真を見たき。
ということは盗まれたのはその
Yep.
朝には確かにあったんだが、
Around noon or
昼過ぎに
so.
はいつの間にか代わりに
Mm.
こんなか。
Oh,
麗しの姫
oh
君とその
no! This
気
guy!
高き白鷹の写し絵はこれを求めんとするなら第一の鍵は
Residents
老
of
少
the
の
aged
巨に
general. Search the onlooker of time. Residents of the aged general.
はあ、またしてもあいつ。
困り。
どうやらこの僕に
怪盗紳士ブルブラン話には聞いていたが随分軽いと
No,
思うが
unfortunately, we were not Jin. I wish we
本
were.
人に心当たりがあるのか。それ
Yeah.
は心強い。よろしく頼んだよ。
それじゃあ早速。
Okay, so the aged general. There is an old general who lives somewhere in
I'm so
Grand
distracted.
Cell.
There's so many circles.
Where though is the question? Is this his house? It's my old one recently. Been using the same rod since I started fishing, so I thought it was time for an upgrade. What to do with my old rod? My husband only uses new top class rods, you see, so I had to keep up. You fish, don't you? From time to time. Well, some.
I died because of the circles.
Well then, allow me to offer you this.
Brain froze.
Ooh! Wow, thank you. Make sure to catch plenty of fish with it. Nice! No, the frames! No! Stop it! Oh no. Oh, bye. Wait. The fishing store's around here somewhere.
Okay.
I think it was right next to the Bracer's Guild. Yeah. Fisherman's Guild. Hello! But I want it. Oh. I can't buy anything, man. Hi again. Fight with nature? Yep. Okay. So the old general's... This is not it. I think I need to go to the west block. Unless this is it. This might be it. Great meal?
What?
Your dad? Mom sure is being awfully sweet to dad. Aww. Good. This is not it, then. I'll go to the west block, I guess. That's not it, and that's not it. General Morgan's residence. Okay, this is what we're looking for. My husband's just like a bracers. He certainly speaks with them quite a lot recently. Perhaps it's Cassius's influence, as shocking as that would be. Changed a bit? Maybe it's my imagination, but he seems to smile more than I'm accustomed to seeing. Homeworker of time. The big clock!
老将っていうとやっぱり
Screams?
モルガン将軍だろうし
Hark, don't make me start screaming, because I will, and your ears will regret it.
ということはこれが時の傍観者になるのかな
ええその可能性は高いと思います。
中を調べさ
Alright. It has to receive permission from the owners to investigate the clock. On inspection, they found a card stuck to the back.
第二の鍵は市中
City?
地に
Seek
と
the
どまった象徴
symbol
を探
perched
れ
on the ground.
Hmm.
It was a long day. Yo, that's how I felt at the end of the day.
まさか家の中に
まあ
Symbol
この家
perched
の
on the
ガイドってや
ground.
ったわでも念のため夜は
ええ
Hmm. Symbol perched on the ground. In the city. Where is there a symbol on the ground? Hmm. Wait, there's water here. Wait, there's water here. Hold on a second. Wait. Oh. Oh, there's no fishing spot. Yeah, I'm doing alright. I'm not gonna lie, I came home and just laid in bed for an hour. Before I actually, like, got up and did the dishes and set up stream. I was, Thursdays make me want to kill somebody at my job. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it is just specifically Thursdays that frustrate the fuck out of me at my job. And it's because of the people I work with. And that makes it the worst part, really. That is really the worst part. Yeah, like normally it's not so bad, but on Thursday I work with a bunch of very unreliable. You know how you have like those people you work with that are just like the weak link? That's basically all that I have on Thursday. I knew there was one here. That's basically the only help I have on Thursdays, and it is just... Okay, so there's nothing that can catch. Try the frog. It's just... It's so frustrating. It's also a morning where we have 3 doctors, and I'm the only receptionist. So... Oh, a snakehead. Lucky thing. Interesting. So not only am I taking all the phone calls, I'm also checking in and out everybody for the 3 doctors and helping anybody additional who comes in. So it just gets like ridiculously busy. Area Bass. Garage ring? Okay. Yeah, one of the other people was up front today who normally isn't. And she looked at me and she was like, today was like, this has been crazy. And I was like, oh, you got a small taste of what I deal with on a daily basis. That's awful? Yeah. Usually we have enough people where I can poke back there and be like, hey, I need somebody to come up here and help me for a second. But, man. One person, it's just a lot. I handle it fairly well. But it's like when we have people who can help that are not helping, that's when I get really pissed off. Oh, a salmon. Oh, my salmon just gave me more roe. Beautiful, thank you. Like, generally, it's not awful. But this whole week has just been ridiculously busy. Give me another salmon that spits out more roe. Oh, rainbow trout. Oh, thank you. It's just... It has been a lot, though. It really has been a lot. Yoink.
Guys already repaired my
Of course, it's a crab. Yeesh. How am I looking on my fish anyways? I'm only missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fish right now. Ooh, man. Watch, I'm gonna end the game not having caught every fish, and then I'm gonna be so upset at myself because I missed one at like the early levels or something like that. I'll be so upset. I'd be so upset. Hello. Appointment? Hey! You're the people who beat me at the casino in Rouen. Nice to see you too, I guess. Listen, please. After that, I tried making up for the money I'd lost with all the kinds of gambles, but... my match with you was where my luck turned. When I realized everything I wanted disappeared, well... really? That's kind of sad. Gambling for riches is not but a fleeting dream of a single night, destined never to come true. Yeah, if only I figured it out sooner. I guess it's true of anything, but you should always know when to quit. I didn't, and I made things hard for my wife because of that. I'm gonna do all I can to make it up to her. You fucking better, dude. Receptionist's a newbie, but he's been busting his butt as much as us veterans. Hey, you know what? He's putting in the fucking work. I respect it. I respect it. So inspiring? He's getting complimented like that? Gotta be strict with showing newbies the ropes? Yeah. Done with this, I'll take a break. Bodies are capital, so resting's an important part of the job. True! You gotta know when to rest. You gotta know when to take a break. Just between you and me, I wanted to work at the airship company. It's impossible! It's really competitive over there. Never stood a chance. I don't have the guts. We'll find them. Just go find them. All I can do is keep my cool and do what I can. Where else should we start with, I wonder? Any of them. Pick one. Gulls more than the fish, but I guess gulls don't swing by lakes. Probably not. Are there any fishies? There were. Bases light up from something as simple as bringing them to the harbor or something else? Doesn't hurt it's so cheap too. Did I luck out or what? Yo, when you find cheap, easy stuff to keep kids entertained and make them super happy, like make them a core memory. Right, that's awesome. But I thought General Morgan's granddaughter was kidnapped, taking a little girl's hostage. Intelligence guys are a bunch of cowards. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. Close your eyes, fold your hands over your heart. I don't want to pray. Never. Damn. The fish are gone. Did you catch them all? Not yet. The solemnity of this cathedral truly hits one in the heart. Perhaps I should come to the cathedral more often, as the priests and sisters advise. Maybe. Non-aggression pact means we be friends with the peoples of the Republic and the Empire. Would be nice. Stained glass? It is. Glass window? Hello. I live with the Libero royal family for many years. Church is ultimately neutral? Yep. Father Kevin, dispatched from the high seat, is quite the odd one. He's rather frivolous for a holy man, giving me ample cause for concern. Perhaps many of the traveling priests are like him. I hope not, because he is quite odd. Dang it, it's locked. What about the door on the other side? I keep being reminded over and over again of the meme. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned is not the same as sorry, Daddy, I've been naughty. I'm sorry. Long ago, I met the traveling priest, Father Kevin. I've heard from the Archbishop the work of a traveling priest is quite difficult. But judging by Father Kevin's demeanor, I don't get that impression at all. Perhaps it's easier than I thought. I think he just likes it. Because he can take, like, mini vacations. Basically, whatever the fuck he wants. croissant. I love how all these pigeons have names. Oh, the bubble's stuck there. That's funny. Okay, so let's see. What was the... In the city, symbol perched on the ground. I don't think it's in this district. Symbol perched on the ground. Wait, isn't there a symbol at the castle? On the castle ground? Or am I crazy? I'm crazy. No, this isn't where it is. I wonder if it could be in a shop or something, maybe? I feel like I remember seeing something on the ground. I just don't remember where I saw it. Or honestly, when. Is it in the department store?
レンちゃん、ここにいたんだ。あら、お姉さん。ね、お姉さんはそうね。
The
そこのウサギなんだ。
damn right, Estelle! Same brain cell.
でもウサギさんが一
Good
番
taste.
ぬいぐるみを見るとアネラスさんを思い出すわね。
I'm a
どう
Zonalis.
してるか。アネラス。私と同じ遊撃士なんだけど、きっとレンちゃんと気が。今は仕事でオートにいないけど、そのうちっていつ？
Oh my goodness.
お姉ちゃん、
I love
レン
it.
ちゃんをレンちゃんと一緒に行きたい。そうなんだ。
Oh my goodness. Alright. Where could this symbol on the ground be? Would I give CP? Strength plus 15%, defense plus 15%. Nice. Second orbitally powered clock. Okay. Symbol on the ground. Symbol on the ground.
Listen.
In the city. Oh, you can't go into the Grand Arena at all? That's bunk. In the city, symbol on the ground. It's not the fountain. Oh my god, it's the fountain. It's the fucking fountain! That makes so much sense in hindsight.
この白ハヤブサの彫像なん。
Hurt.
確かにリベールの象徴
Of
だ
course it is. Of course it is!
それでは
Hard stuck to the base of the iron fence.
第三の鍵は異国の館に。
Foreign myths. Examine the will of the Blue Knight.
よ
Foreign
し、正
myths?
解ね。でも、青き親衛隊の大使。
ああ、確かに青い軍服です。
いや、異国の館と言っているのに、何よりも美しくないから他の可能性。
そういう、まあ似た者同士の言うことだし。
It's probably in one of the embassies, I would think, then. I would think it'd be in one of the embassies, then. That would make the most sense to me. Black-haired soldier came out of the embassy just a bit ago. His expression was impassive, but he was so cool. Alright, let's start with the Air
元気
Bunny.
でやっているかい？
オリビエさん、今まで何をしてたんですか？
Where have you been? Oh,
お
Olivier.
や、どうしたんだい？
どうしたもこうしたも、エルゴに当時に行ったっきり、行方をくらましたそうですね。
Aha. Oh no. Oh
ミラーさん
no.
が怒っていましたよ。
相変わらず可愛い男だな。
オリビエ、まさかあんた私たちと一緒に行動していることを大使館に知らせてなかったの？
愛を求めてさまよう旅路は忍ぶものと決まっているからね。
Oh no, Olivier.
それはともかく中に通しても
構いませんが。
遊撃士協会の人間よ。こちらの大使さんにちょっと話が聞き、それでこのお調子者に
なるほど、身分も確かのようです。あいにくダビル大使とミラーさんは外出
Oh,
中でして。
they're out.
おや、どうするエステル君？
あんまり時間もないし、
Okay, visit
他
some
の
of the
場
other
所
places
でし
while
た
we
ら
wait.
共和国と
Okay,
同じ
visit the
東
other
大部にあ
embassy.
る
Sure.
そうだな。戻ってくるのも。
それじゃあ兵士さん、
ええ、お待ちしています。
Hello.
お兄さん、久しぶりだな。
あれれ、ジンさんじゃないっすか。またリベールに遊びに来てくれたんすか？
まあそんなところだ。
Ah,
挨拶
goodness.
が
I love
て
these
らエルザ大使に
characters.
相談があってきたんだが、今いるかい？
外出はされてないからいらっしゃると思うっすよ。ところでそちらの方々は？
ギルドの仕事仲間でね、うちの大使さんに紹介。
へえ、そうっすか。ま、ジンさんの連れなら。
Alright, let's do it.
どうぞお通りくださいっす。あ、大使館の敷地内は市街封建になっていますから、くれぐれも不審な行動は慎
だってさ、
やれやれ。
You hear that, Olivier? Oh, huh. Yeah, of course we don't trust you, dude. I'm going to be looking around if they'll let me. Damn, this place is
これは
fancy.
これは。
へえ、これがカルバード
Very
大使館なんだ。さす
fancy.
が立派で豪華な雰囲気ね。
それにどことなく異国情緒のある内
ま、東方からの移民を受け入れてきた国だからな。ちなみにエルザ大使の部屋は2
Okay.
階の奥にあるぞ。
Furthest room on the second floor. Well, I would like to explore first. Ah, Jin. Hey, I'm back. I might end up borrowing a room, so I'll be in your care if that happens. Of course. I'll have everything squeaky clean for you. Oh, you are... Why, if it isn't Jin? Counselor, a pleasure. All together here. Are they your guests? Yes, they're co-workers with the guild. Are you here about the threat letter? It's as you guessed. It's a request from the Royal Army. Do you have any ideas? Threat letters like that aren't exactly rare in the Republic. To be honest, I barely paid it any heed at all. True, there are a lot of radical groups in that country. Yes, they always cause trouble when the issue of immigration comes up. Well, this time at least I can't say anything. Why don't you see what Ambassador, Cochrane thinks first? Yes, we'll go do that right now. If you'll pardon us. Shelf holds the Doll Knight series? Wait, I'm missing... Wait, is this the whole... We're gonna be here a while. Chapter 1. Chapter 1. The Puppeteer's Apprentice. Long, long ago, in a certain little village, there lived a young boy. He was some 13 years old. His name was Pedro. Pedro was a small boy and not very strong, but his fingers were dexterous enough to astonish anyone. When he moved his whittling knife, wooden blocks would turn into birds and wonderful creatures as if by magic. The boy spent his days with these crafts as his life. One day, strange travelers came by the village. An old man with sharp eyes and a large man in black garb casually strolled into the general store, whereupon their eyes were drawn to a wooden bird so cunningly carved that one could almost hear its wings beat in the air. It was Pedro's latest creation. After inquiring with the owner of the general store, the old man and his escort came upon the little house where Pedro lived. And the first words they had for him were, "Prepare your things. We're leaving for the city." Pedro's eyes widened in shock at the order. "What is this?" he cried. "Who are you people, any—" His eyes fell on the large man in black. Pedro's words caught in his throat. The old man chuckled. "So you did notice. I thought you would." From the old man's fingers stretched transparent threads. He gestured, and the black-garbed man bowed gracefully. The immense man was a clockwork puppet. "He is the Black Priest," the old man said. "My finest work." His wrinkled face creased further as he smiled slyly. He was the famous master Capri Oratoria, a puppeteer known throughout Walt Luna. Oratoria fixed Pedro with a beady eye. "You could craft something even greater than this. Doesn't the mere thought excite you?" No more words were needed. Tossing his carving knife into a sack, Pedro fixed his cap on his head and greeted his new master by saying farewell to his old home. Chapter 2: The Blue Knight. The years passed swiftly for Pedro at Oratoria's workshop on the outskirts of the capital. Under the tutelage of puppeteer Capri, he learned the techniques to build clockwork puppets and the skill to make them dance and perform. After 3 years of training, he completed his own masterpiece, a doll of noble bearing dressed in armor with a gleaming blue helm. If Capri's masterwork, the Black Priest, was a martial arts type focused on maneuverability, then Pedro's blue puppet was a well-balanced swordsman. Its counterattacks as it turned aside the Black Priest's punches and kicks were the very image of a graceful knight. "What will you call it?" Capri asked. Pedro had no answer. He had been so focused in its creation that he actually hadn't thought of one. Ultimately, it would come to be called the Blue Knight before he could name it. It was sometime after Pedro constructed the Blue Knight that the king who ruled from the city would pass on from their world. The king had long been ill, so there was little shock, and the mourning period passed smoothly. And so, in accordance with the law, the king's only daughter, Princess Tia, would ascend to the throne as queen. Year 3: On the road home. Pedro visited the city accompanied by the Blue Knight. With the crowning ceremony approaching, the streets were abuzz with excitement. As he strolled the city center, people passing by cast strange looks his way. What a noble knight he must be. I'm sure he must be quite the famous hero. You suppose he's attending the crowning ceremony? Trailing quietly behind the Blue Knight, Pedro could hardly keep himself from doing a little dance. It felt like a step towards Capri, who could control the Black Priest as if it was human itself. Of course, at the same time he found it annoying that others thought him the servant of his own creation. It was on his way back to the workshop outside of time that Pedro's humming was interrupted by a scream. "No, please stop!" cried a voice from the woods. "No one's gonna save you," a man growled. "Give up and give in." From the looks of things, some thuggish men had a girl cornered. Dainty and clad in a white dress, the girl's searching eyes sought desperately for a way to flee from the danger. Pedro squared his shoulders, and lowering his cap to shadow his eyes, he set his fingers in motion. The Blue Knight charged forward. Righteous display. Upon seeing the Blue Knight appear like a shadow from the heart of the forest, the men harassing the girl could only gape in amazement. "Leave the girl and leave this place," the Blue Knight declared from the depths of its helmet. This was the ventriloquism the old master had drilled into his head as a secret of puppeteering. What the hell are you? Get out of here before you get hurt. Fools. With a jab from its clockwork fist, the Blue Knight knocked back the man holding the woman and pivoted swiftly to kick both men away. "Are you hurt, young lady?" No, I am well." "Good. 'Twould be best if you stood back." At last, the Blue Knight drew its sword. Swathed in black, a third man who seemed like the leader approached. Not bad for a wanderer. Pedro eyed the new arrival. The black-garbed man's stance suggested he knew something of proper swordsmanship. Enough playing, though. Hand over the girl and I'll see you rewarded. To ignore one's duties is to be without courage. I fear I cannot do that, said the Blue Knight. Well then, die, screamed the black-garbed man and attacked. Alrighty then. Chapter 5. The Girl with Sky Blue Eyes. the man in black attacked. From the upper right, he feinted as if to strike the shoulder, but twisted his wrist and changed to a slash across the body. Pedro, having read the feint, pulled at his strings. The Blue Knight stepped back a half step, dodging the horizontal slash, then smacked the outstretched blade, knocking it from his foe's hands. Impossible! A black-eyed man rubbed his numb hand and paled as the Blue Knight shifted slightly. As if it was a sign, the thugs turned and scattered like baby spiders. The girl gave a sigh of relief and curtsied. Thank you very much. She was still a bit shaky, but her manner was that of a noblewoman. It is the duty of every knight to protect. Pay it no mind. Are you from foreign lands, perhaps? Suddenly, Pedro was struck with a moment of whimsy. I am the touring knight, Pedro. The boy there is my servant, he made the puppet reply. Huh? The girl finally seemed to notice him. She faced him with an expression of bewilderment. However, Pedro was no longer surprised. Indeed, his shock was many, many times greater than hers. Cool, turquoise blue eyes, that familiar, achingly lovely form. It was the same girl he had seen at ceremonies and from the balcony of the palace. Your Highness, he blurted? The girl wrapped in pure white was the very girl who had just lost her father and was to be crowned in the capital. It was Princess Tia. Ooh, okay. Where am I on 7? Chapter... Wait, no, am I on chapter 6? I think I'm on chapter 6. Melancholy of the Princess. Would you be willing to guard me for these 2 weeks until the crowning ceremony? In the royal throne room, Princess Tia asked this question with a serious expression. Of course, she asked it not of Pedro, but of the Blue Knight. Have you not a royal guard? Surely you would be far better off with them as your protectors. Unable to say that the Blue Knight was a puppet, Pedro followed as far as the throne room. He shivered, sensing even more trouble about to come. The royal guard that protect the capital are... They obey the words of my uncle, Duke Gaston. Even before they abandoned me and fled, Princess Tia said softly. Duke Gaston was a man surrounded by bad rumors. It was an open secret he took advantage of the previous king's illness to line his own purse. The man in black you confronted, Sir Pedro, I am sure that was my uncle's second in command. All of it was planned. Princess Tia's sky-blue eyes clouded. At this point, the kindly Pedro could hardly refuse the role of escort. Understood. I shall accept your request, he had the Blue Knight reply. Princess Tia's smile was like the sun breaking through the clouds. Thank you, Sir Knight. Thank you so very much. She turned towards Pedro as well. And you too, good servant. May I ask for your name? Pedro hid his eyes once more in the shadow of his cap. I'm no one worthy of naming myself. Bro, shoot your shot! Chapter 6, the Melik? No. We're on chapter 7. Turbulent days. Protecting the princess proved harder than predicted. After all, almost every day there were new ne'er-do-wells sent after her. Eventually, partially due to their closeness in age, Princess Tia and Pedro, still playing the servant, came to speak very openly to each other. While glad for the princess's trust, he didn't know what he would do if the truth of the Blue Knight came out. Pedro was beside himself with worry. On the other side of the city, a letter was delivered to a certain puppet workshop. What is that boy doing? Guessing the circumstances from the very vague statements in Pedro's letter, Caprice sighed and gave a bitter smile. However, perhaps this is a good chance, he mused. Pedro was ever bright and straight as an arrow, yet his thoughts were always of puppets. Partially due to living outside the city, he had no friends he could call close, and yet it hardly seemed as if he felt lonely for it. While the role of escort to the princess was perhaps beyond his station, if it proved a chance to awaken more human feelings in his apprentice, he could only wish him the best for the parent's heart. Okay. Chapter 8. What makes the darkness shake? That girl has the devil's own luck. In a dim room lit by flickering candle flames, Duke Gaston cursed hatefully. He felt not a moment of sympathy or care for his niece. At this rate, she shall see the crowning ceremony, he snarled. This knight, Pedro, can't we handle him? He's the first man so skilled we've encountered. We feared that even if the royal guard attacked at once, it might be difficult. Recalling the shame of having his sword knocked from his hands, Duke Gaston's second-in-command bit his lip. Still, we have nothing to fear, he said. While a bit of an odd character, we have hired a skilled assassin to handle this, my lord. Odd? What sort of person is he? Did you call? The flames danced bewitchingly, then went out as one. As if something tremendously heavy had collapsed down onto it. The carpeted floor shook with a thud. Who is it? Duke Gaston took a step back. The shadow illuminated by the moon was tremendous and inhuman. My lord, fear not. This is our assassin, Harlequin. He will remove all that is in your way with his puppet. The assassin sketched a mocking bow. I do love hunting. I don't take jobs unless the prey's lively. A sickening laugh shook the darkness, bringing a nasty smile to the Duke's face as well. Worry him not. I am sure your hunt will be most enjoyable. And so does the night bathed in red by a crimson moon fade to dawn, melting like ice. Well, now I gotta know what else happens. Chapter 9, Afternoon in the Lesser Palace. Afternoon in the palace began with a tea party in the gardens. The princess, as always, filled 3 cups with black tea from the pot. Please, enjoy your tea. My thanks, the Blue Knight intoned. Thank you very much, Pedro said. Pedro moved the Blue Knight with his left hand as he sipped the tea made by the princess. It was the happiest moment in their otherwise busy days. Good servant, you really seem to enjoy your tea. It makes it very worth the effort for the one who made it. You are too kind. Smiling bitterly, Pedro pulled his strings. The Blue Knight, in one go, emptied the tea in the cup into the leather sack in his neck. At this, Princess Tia could only sigh, whereas Sir Pedro here seems to hardly find it delicious at all. It makes it difficult to be motivated. Pardon me, I fear I am an impolite man. In his heart, Pedro felt a nervous edge, but the Blue Knight answered with an ever-calm face. There had been countless moments where it seemed as if everything would be revealed, but Princess Tia showed no signs of doubting the truth of the Blue Knight. The princess smiled faintly, but her expression quickly turned somber. I suppose it doesn't matter. These fun afternoons will end tomorrow. After the crowning ceremony the following day, you shall both leave the city, after all. Faint pain. At the princess's lonely words, Pedro's heart beat fast as a drum. I fear I am a man on the path of the warrior, so... My apologies, the Blue Knight said. No, I should apologize. I shall hardly make much of a queen like this. The princess shook herself and smiled brightly. Forgetting to control the puppet, Pedro ducked his head to hide the longing on his face. He would have loved to stay as her guard. Though she might have been of noble birth, Princess Tia was a lonely girl who had lost her father. However, she had been speaking not of the servant like Pedro, but of the Blue Knight. To the princess, Pedro was simply part of the package. Thinking that made his chest hurt somehow. It was a pain such as he'd never felt when he was handling his puppets. Ultimately, Pedro had chosen, even if it meant saddening the princess, to flee from this unbearable pain in his chest. Would you like a second cup? As if to clear the heavy atmosphere, the princess offered the pot with a smile. Oh, that does sound good. Mind giving me a cup? With an unnerving laugh, a shadow leapt in. What? A sudden gust tore through the garden, sending the tea flying off the table. Crimson wings beat the air as an immense puppet in the form of a devil fell to the earth. Sorry for interrupting your lovely tea party, tittered a voice. Would you mind playing with me for a bit? On the devil's left arm was a human figure. It was a masked puppeteer, Harlequin. I'll make sure it's plenty of fun, he giggled. Oh boy. Ace, why are you being a screamy boy? Why are you screaming no more? Go scream again?
Did he play on you? No, he visited.
Chapter 11, The Devil's Attack. Lady Tia, stand back. Pedro, shielding the princess behind him, sent the Blue Knight forward towards the Crimson Devil's right arm. It was a blind spot for the masked puppeteer. With a rapid turn, the knight let loose a heavy strike. The tip of the sword was swallowed up in the base of the creature's wing. The demon's right arm flashed up. Blade and claws scraped, sending sparks into the air. Losing its balance, the Blue Knight took an unsteady step back. The demon gave a shiver, and a bar of tail thick as a log screamed through the air, striking forward. Astonished by the technique, Pedro snapped the Blue Knight back, dodging the tail swipe. Oh, you are good! I didn't think you were in the same business. The masked puppeteer spoke not to the Blue Knight, but to Pedro. The Blue Knight, as if to interrupt these words, pointed its sword at the puppeteer. What nonsense are you speaking? If you shall not come, then shall I strike first? Even now, Pedro tried to hide it. Princess Tia, with a confused expression, gazed upon the preceding events. I see, so that's how it is. The masked puppeteer, as if realizing the situation, laughed softly. My. I'll let no one call me rude. If you'd rather not share, I'll stay quiet. But you know... The puppeteer's voice dipped low and was tinged with a roiling darkness. You don't even have that much guts. Even thinking you win against my calamity is naive. Oh boy. Chapter 12, The Crimson Demon. The demon doll Calamity kicked to the ground and launched itself into the air, closing the gap in an instant. Pedro reacted just a moment too slow, so intent was he on not wanting the princess to notice. It was the tiniest of openings, but it was the one that would prove fatal. First, the sword was knocked from the clockwork hands. Then the claws continued to dig in, cutting through the blue armor like butter. Oh my, what's wrong? The tail whipped in, encircling the Blue Knight. With a twitch of the puppeteer's fingers, the tail tightened, crushing both the knight's arms. Caught you! The claws grabbed the Blue Knight by its feathered helm and lifted it up off its feet. Stop! The first puppet he'd made, that he put so much effort into, was being torn to pieces. Pedro lost himself for a moment and ran forward. You are so impatient. No need to worry, I was going to give him back. The Crimson Demon held the Blue Knight high and threw it down towards Pedro. Blue Knight crashed into Pedro and bowled him over. He lay in a crumpled heap upon the lawn under the body of the puppet. Please stop! The princess stepped between the fallen pair and the masked puppeteer, her arms spread wide. I offer myself to you. In return, I command you to cease this senseless violence. Oh no. Oh no. Saying goodbye. Ooh, shit. At Princess Tia's bold words, the puppeteer licked his lips loudly. You'd offer yourself in place of your guard? Why, you bring tears to my eyes, princess. You mustn't, Lady Tia. Barely conscious, Pedro desperately tried to put words together. He had not the energy to use ventriloquism. My master. Pedro is fine. Leave it to him. Hurry, run. Sir Pedro. Silence. At the princess's angry words, Pedro managed to open his eyes fully, for those words were addressed most surely to he, still garbed and acting the servant. You knew? I'm sorry. I pretended not to notice. The princess smiled in a sad, lonely way, then turned to the puppeteer again with a dignified expression. Now, take me to my uncle. My, oh my, what a princess you are. I bet you would have made quite the queen, too. The demon slowly stretched out its right arm. When the princess stepped on, it began to beat its crimson wings. Sir Pedro, thank you so much. This last week was very fun. Those words of goodbye sunk into his brain. As he watched the scarlet shadow be swallowed into the blue sky, Pedro's consciousness slowly faded into darkness. Oh no! A cost of deceit. The next morning when Pedro opened his eyes, he found himself in his room at the doll workshop. Safe on his familiar firm bed, he felt a rush of relief. It had all been a dream. Capri called out from the workshop. Oh, how you feeling? Pedro craned his neck. On the workbench in the back, he glimpsed disassembled blue parts spread out across the wood. He leaped up, panicked. It wasn't a dream. It seemed Capri had used the Black Priest to bring Pedro and the broken form of the Blue Knight back to from the castle. It's my fault. Pedro's eyes trailed over his former masterpiece, now reduced to junk. His memory then trailed back over cool turquoise blue eyes, a worn smile like a ray of sunlight, and 5 fingers pouring black tea. Pedro ground his lip between his teeth. Blue Knight wasn't good enough. If I had any talent as a puppeteer, I would have been able to protect Princess Tia. It seems you still don't understand, Capri muttered. His face took on a rare expression of severity. What you lack is here. In a forceful motion, he jabbed his finger against Pedro's chest. Pedro could only blink in shock. Typical clueless man. Chapter 15. A Little Decision. Her Highness knew the truth of the Blue Knight, and yet she chose to— Wait, am I in chapter 15 or 14? Chapter between the pages? Oh. I was reading that. It's already been opened. Join the dance of the Valorous? Oh.
確かにこの場所は共和国の領内扱いになる。まさに異国の館だ。
Yep. Yep. I wasn't done reading.
ずいぶん手の込んだことをして、でもこれで最後みたいね。
猛者たちの舞踏
Dance of the Valorous. I already know where that is. What do I need to see? Am I chapter 14? No, I'm on chapter 15. Her Highness knew the truth of the Blue Knight, and yet she chose to pretend not to. Do you really not understand why? Because, unexpectedly, in the depths of his mind, he had a flash of insight. Sir Pedro, silent, she had said, and then I pretended not to notice. He recalled the sad, lonely smile she gave him when she revealed it. Something hot boiled up inside his chest. Pedro raised his head and fixed Capri with an intense gaze. Master, I beg of you, help me repair the Blue Knights. The old man studied his face. The masked puppeteer you fought is a man feared like a demon in our trade. A half-baked man can't hope to match to him. Do you understand? Even so, I will, for the person who believed in me. When he said this, Capri smiled broadly, as if something grand had just fallen into his lap. It was the day before the crowning ceremony. At the palace, the princess's absence had been noticed, and the royal keep fell into an uproar from top to bottom. Chapter 16, The Duke's Private Manor. On the outskirts of the capital in Duke Gaston's manor, Princess Tia sat in a lush room carpeted in deep crimson. It's perfect for you, princess. With a satisfied expression, Duke Gaston glared at his bound prisoner. What do you intend to do about the crowning ceremony today? Princess Tia asked in a quiet voice. The Duke shrunk a bit under her icy gaze. I am afraid you will be absent, and so the throne and staff will be offered to me, the second in line. Do you believe the people will accept you? To change the subject, Tia, I have found someone willing to accept you as a bride. Seeing the sky-colored eyes waver for a moment, the Duke smiled with renewed confidence. He's the second imperial son and quite the connection. When Duke's smile widened, while you learn the choice of womanhood in a new land, you can leave the rest to me. It was a cowardly plan. Certainly, it wasn't a scenario that would be accepted for the Duke to take the throne in place of the first heir. However, it was different if the princess were to marry. If that were to pass, anyone could see that Duke Gaston's ascent to the throne was all but a done deal. My lord, it is about time. At his second-in-command's comment, the Duke stood. I am sure you are quite tired from the daily attacks. Take the chance to rest and recover. The Duke gave a chuckle at his own shamelessness and left the room. At that moment, that won't be happening. There was a tremendous crash and a glass window exploded into glittering powder. So the boy becomes a man. Like a graceful leopard, a tall knight clad in blue armor leapt through the window. Following behind him was a small boy wearing a cap. Princess Tia, I'm sorry. I know I'm a bit late, he said. Sir Pedro, so you did come after all. A tremulous smile floated onto the princess's face. Somewhat embarrassed, the boy returned the smile. Their eyes locked and words unsaid passed between them. Hey, there is a time and a place for things. The Duke, having been completely ignored, was sputtering in anger. As the Duke seethed, his second-in-command was stealthily sneaking up on the still-bound princess. He reached out his hand for the princess's shoulder. The Blue Knight leapt forward like a bolt from a crossbow. The pitiable second-in-command, having taken a direct punch from the Blue Knight, collapsed against the wall, unconscious. That's a bit much. Duke Gaston, now white as a sheet, fled the room in a stumbling lurch. Princess Tia, let us hurry. Your crowning ceremony begins soon, Pedro said. Yes. Escaping the Manse, the two were pursued by the Duke and his guard. However, as if to obstruct their path, a scarlet shadow fell down, shaking the ground. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to get in your way. I'm afraid thoroughness is the #1 part of being a puppeteer, after all. The way he spoke made it hard to believe it was just a job. It was the masked puppeteer Harlequin and the Crimson Demon Doll Calamity. Duel between red and blue. Oh no, red versus blue again? Ah, come on. White blade met deadly claw. Blue and red twisted about in blinding fashion. The cover to the fight had been cleaved off. Oh, you're moving better, Harlequin exclaimed. Surprisingly, the Blue Knight's movements were just a little bit faster than that of the Crimson Devil puppet, Calamity. I broke it all to pieces too, but to fix it back up in just one day? Looks like the old man found himself a good apprentice. You know my master? Harlequin twirled his fingers and Calamity fluttered its wings and slowly lifted into the sky. We have a bit of history, yes, he giggled. But forget about that. What will you do about this? As he howled these words, the red puppet swooped down. Pedro pulled his strings back, and the Blue Knight narrowly avoided the grasping claws. Or this! Smooth as flowing water, Calamity sent out its log-like tail to swipe at the knight. Pedro's sides flowed down and to the right. Dropping its center of gravity, the Blue Knight shifted its sword to a slant and redirected the force of the tail upwards. Or this! Calamity swung its horned head around and charged straight for the Blue Knight's torso. Pedro snapped his threads upwards and to his left this time. The Blue Knight, who had let itself fall back slightly, now slashed its sword down in a blur of light. With a small, pleasant cracking sound, the crimson wing on the right side of the puppet was hewn straight off. Red hot roar. Slightly panicked, the masked puppeteer wrenched back on the strings and put space between himself and the Blue Knight. Hey, how about we call it a draw here? Knowing it was hopeless, Pedro still offered. As he expected, a happy voice called back, "Now don't make bad jokes like that. It's been too long since I've had this much fun after all." Seemingly drunk on warped joy, Harlequin twisted his hands about in a complex motion. It looked almost as if he were drawing magic circles in the air. "I didn't think I'd end up using this," he giggled. Calamity crossed both arms across its body, as if holding itself. Slowly, a burning scent filled the air. A cold chill ran down Pedro's spine. He set to move the Blue Knight, but realized the princess was behind it. "You can regret it in your next life," Harlequin screamed. The Crimson Demon took an imposing stance. Its massive jaw creaked. There was a rush of air, and then a ball of brilliant flame spewed forth. The area was engulfed in a violent pillar of swirling fire. The Blue Knight, Pedro, and the princess were all swallowed by the inferno. "So that's it, is it? Guess it was kind of a pity to end it there, huh?" Gazing at the roaring flames, Harlequin muttered regretfully. However, his eyes soon narrowed, puzzled. No scent of meat roasting or metal melting reached his nose. What? The crimson maelstrom began to swirl faster, and the center suddenly parted as if blown apart from the inside. From the middle rose a blue twister. Oh. Whereabouts at the deathmatch? From within the flame, the Blue Knight arose. Across its shoulder, Pedro and Princess Tia could be seen clinging, pale and hardy. What had blown away the raging flames was its tremendous two-handed sword. Spinning the enormous blade like a whirlwind, a butterfly made of flame danced above the Blue Knight's head. It was a fantastical scene. "You think that'll work?" Harlequin began gesturing again. It seemed he intended to launch another fireball. "I won't let you," Pedro cried. Splitting through the wall of flames, the Blue Knight forced its way forward. In the next moment, Calamity's horned head was cleaved perfectly in two. Ha ha ha! Absolutely wonderful. The fireball, moments from release, puffed up within the Crimson Puppet and caused a small explosion. Flung by the shockwave, the Blue Knight was tossed into the air. Pedro braced both legs and managed to catch it. Sir Pedro, are you alright?" "I'm fine, yeah. But I don't think there's any saving him." Though Harlequin may have been a foe, his was still a life that had been taken. Pedro felt the guilt of such a deed strike him. Princess Tia, seeing Pedro so troubled, enveloped him in her arms. "I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't kill me off so easily," said a whispering voice from inside the pillar of flames. The voice seemed somehow satisfied. "I applaud your efforts, young man. I'll back down nicely this time. Looking forward to when we next meet." The ground shook and a red and black shadow launched skyward and disappeared from sight. Pedro and the princess looked at one another and burst into relieved laughter. Dollmaster's purpose. The boy, the girl, and one puppet left for the capital on light feet while the masked puppeteer fled into the deep forest riding his scorched creation. Stopping suddenly, the masked puppeteer spoke to the shadows in the trees. "You're there, aren't you, old man?" "Noticed me, did you?" Pedro's master Capri stepped out from the cover of the trees. As always, the Black Priest was with him, but it was a curious sight, for the puppet had no arms. "As I thought, you fixed the blue puppet's arms with parts from the Black Priest. No wonder it moves so well." "Well, the gap between you and Pedro was a bit too much after all. I took it upon myself to give him a helping hand. Or a helping arm." Harlequin's shoulders sunk in response to the words of the old puppet master. "Well, I don't mind since I had fun, but if and when the 13 factories find out about this, I don't think Pedro will have it too easy either, do you?" The 13 factories. The moment he heard those disturbing words, Capri's expression darkened. "Well then, see you soon!" Leaving behind a suppressed laugh, the masked puppeteer disappeared into the deep forest. "It is a road all puppeteers must pass," the old puppet master muttered in a quiet voice. almost as if he was telling it to himself. I've read the entire Doll Knight series. That's an achievement. A moment's rest. Afternoon in the palace began with a tea party in the gardens. The princess, as always, filled 3 cups of black tea from the pot. Please, enjoy your tea. Thank you very much, Pedro said. Behind the boys sipping tea stood a knight armored in blue. However, he had not a word to say. What happened to the Duke in the end? On the night of the crowning ceremony, Duke Gaston had disappeared with his vassals. After all, his plan had been foiled and the queen successfully crowned before countless countrymen. The royal guard, whose allegiance had been questionable before the coronation, fell to their knees in contrition and swore their loyalty to the new queen. The Duke, before he could be held for the crime of abducting the princess, understandably chose to flee the country. My uncle has chosen to entrust himself to the Empire. Apparently he sought protection from the imperial prince he had arranged as a husband for me. The queen smiled slightly. However, it seems as if they consider him something of a pest. I feel a bit sorry for him. Pedro was amazed. They do not deserve your sympathy. In truth, Pedro did not think Duke Gaston would back down easily. And what of the machinations of that foul masked puppeteer Harlequin? Capri, Pedro's teacher, seemed to know the jester, but simply dodged any questions about him with frustrating vagueness. Regardless, Pedro knew another battle would come, and soon. He would have to upgrade the Blue Knight if he hoped to emerge victorious. Oh, Pedro. A slightly irritated yet comforting voice snapped Pedro from his reverie. Do you wish for your tea to grow cold? The clear blue eyes which met his own carried their own message. It will all be alright. Pedro, a little embarrassed, took his tea and drank deeply. It was enough to simply have this moment with her. The end. Oh, that was actually really awesome. I'm actually really happy I read that, but I'm losing my voice. My, is that hulk of a man over there Jin? I don't think I need to see your face to know. Hey, are you seriously going to judge based on my body size? I thought you were a bear when we first met. My. Jeez. I am losing my voice though. Ah, Ambassador's office. Hold on. Not yet. There's more rooms. Oh, Jin, come to Liberal again? Hey, Yakumo. It seems I'll be here for a while again. You seem pretty busy yourself. Of course we are. After all, we've got a pact signing approaching. Sorry, but I won't have time to bother you for a while. Oh, and there's nobody here. That's probably the spare bedroom. Let's go talk to Elsa. At least I won't have to voice this part. I think after this, I'm gonna finish up the Phantom Thief quest. And then I'm going to, I think I'm gonna get off. Just because I'm losing my voice. And I kinda need that.
ギルドの仕事でやり残したことがあり、またしばらくの間はリベールに滞在しようと思ってます。
さすが永久遊撃士。何かと忙しいところで、そちらの方々は？
はじめまして、遊撃士協会に所属するエステル・ブライト。こちらの2人は協力者の黒。
よろしく、大使殿。
お初にお目にかかります。
Goodness gracious.
カルバード共和国大使のエルザ・コクランよ。
It is Cochrane.
ど
Okay.
うやら面倒な話があってた。
Yeah. I was telling a Proteus about the threatening letter the embassy
脅迫状
received.
の件。それじゃああなたたちは王国軍の依頼で動いているの？
一応そういうことだ。遊撃士協会としても見過ごせる話じゃありません。それを踏まえて、
まあいいでしょう。それでま
ずは脅迫者に心当たりが共和国に条約締結に関する。
それはもちろん例えば、私なんてそうだしね。
Oh.
ちょ
Okay.
っと大使さん、あんまり若いもんをからかわないでくれます。
あら、事実は事実だもの。私のエレボニア嫌いはあなたも知っているでしょ。
Yeah, that's true. We have
そりゃまあ。
seen her also.
勘違いしないで。
Oh, hi, Ace. I now have a cat in my lap.
すでに大統領が決定して議会も承認した案件だからね。個人的な感情は抜きにして。
そうですか。それじゃあ他の反対している人たち
いるにはいるけど少数派ね。それらの勢力も本気で反対しているわけじゃない。
本気で反対していない。
あのね、そもそも不戦条約って実効性のある国家間の対立を戦争によらず話し合いで平和的に解決、そういう意味では条約というより共同宣言。
その気になればいつでも破れる口約束に過ぎないということ。
そういうこと、まあ確かにここ十数年カルバードとエレボニアの関係は冷え切っていた、今回のような機会を通じて話し合いの場が設けられるのは意義のあることだとは思う。
確かに脅迫状を出してまで
エルザ大使、カルバードの関係者が脅迫犯ではない。誰が怪しいと思われますか？
そうね、個人的な先入観で言えばエレボニアの主戦派あたりが限りなく怪しいと思うけど、新型エンジンの件もあるし、その可能性も低そうなのよね。
新型エンジンってもしかして。
そう、それのサンプルがカルバードとエレボニアの双方に不戦条約の調印式の場。
さすがはアリシア、まんまと帝国と共和国を手玉に取ったということだね。
悔しいけど大したお方だわ。新型エンジンは次世代の飛行船舶の要とも言える存在よ。それがサンプルとはいえ手に入るチャンスなんですもの。いくら帝国の主戦派にしたって水は差したくないでしょうね。
帝国共和国ともに不戦条約を妨害する可能性。
そうなのはお役に立てなくて。
容疑者が減っただけでも。それとは別に。
About
クロスベルの貿易商。少なくとも
そうですか。
クロスベルといえば帝国と共和国の中帝国大使館にも問い合わせてみ。
Yep, that's the plan.
いろいろと教えても。
あら、どういたしまして。ところであなた。
Oh, another one who knows our dad, I bet.
もしかしてカシウス重将の娘さん？
知ってるんです。
Who doesn't know him at this point? Why are you still surprised about this, Estelle?
指導者ですもの。娘さんがいるとは聞いていたけど。
私はただの。
わかってるわ。うちの大使館もギルドにはいろいろとお世話になっている。今後うちの依頼があったら。
それじゃあ。
Alright. Now for the port of Meet on Valor's ground.
エステル、うちの大使館も今後うちの依頼があったら受け負って。
I guess out we go then. I think I know where I need to go now. For this Phantom Thief quest.
あれ？
Yep.
ここの入り口は武術大会などの催しがない時だとしたら。
And it was locked earlier.
どうやらここ
Meet on Valor's ground. I have a bad feeling. I don't know why, I just have a bad feeling.
You're just living off of the money that you got off of that. That's crazy. They technically retired like what?
グランアリーナか。
ああ、そんなに時間が経っていないのに。
I have a bad feeling.
こうして立っていると。
確かエステルさんたちは武術大会を勝ち抜いて。私も観戦したかったです。
今にして思えば、でも今回の騒動が片付いたら自分の力を確かめて。
それでこそ旦那のそうだな。
さすがにジンさんが相手。
それでは僕は愛を込めて。
気持ちは嬉しいけど。
Pass. Hard pass. I fucking knew it! I had a bad feeling, and there's that bad
どうやら
feeling.
古代の闘技場と
舞台としては悪くない。
Reminiscent of some old Coliseum games, and I wonder which
観客が
Coliseum
不在
games.
なのがいささかもの。
来ます
It lasted a little while.
Okay.
So was it? I mean, no, but didn't you still
みんなよ
movie?
Oh shit. TP charge yourself, please. Oh, Zin, please. Get impeded. Oh no. Impeded. Oh no. Oh, this is not good. No. No.
ごめん
Fuck. Oh, this is not cool, man. No, my healer. Oh no. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Hey, you remember how I said I had a really bad feeling? Yeah, that bad feeling was right.
So, what was that? Are you gonna commit to hold on.
Let's...
I'm gonna take that break. Take a few minute break.
Rude. Mm. We any features going. Hey, Tara, how's it going? New faces in your squad? Yeah, kind of. They aren't super new, but kind of. Fuck you. No casting for you, bitch. You're guarding. Goodbye. Like to a Pokemon Stadium? Because we are currently in a stadium. We are currently in a stadium.
なかなか芸が細かいじゃないか。さすが僕のライバルとして。
That was a magic trick that hurt, though.
予想していた以上にふざけた性格のようだ。まあいい。とっと。
Is this gonna be the painting that was stolen? Portrait of Arceal. Yep. Card stuck to the bottom of the box. Of course.
我が姫。我が好敵手。趣向を凝らした我がもてなし。楽しんでもらえたかな。主役の機嫌を損ねたくないので、そろそろ脇役は退場させてもらおう。次なる開口を楽しみにしてお。
たく、何が次なる開口よ。
Chance meeting my
いい加
ass.
減にしてほしいんですけど。
でもなんだか気になることが書かれています。主役とか脇役って一体何のこと
Is
な
that
んで
the
しょう。
mask dude from back then? Yeah.
言われてみれば、まあとりあえずこの写
Alright, let's go. Return this to the archive.
いや、本当に助かったよ。しかし、その回答とやらは、どうしてアルセイの写真なんかを立派ではあるが、写真である以上、大した価値にはならんだろう。
まあどちらかっていうと、私たちへの嫌がらせみたいなものだから。そういう意味ではごめんなさい。巻き込んじゃったのかもしれないわ。
謝る必要はないさ。
Sorry, I feel like I've sent
君
my
たち
eye.
の仕業じゃないんだし、とにかく本当にご苦労だったね。
Ugh. Yeah, that is that really annoying mouse dude from back then. Why is he like this? Why? Hi, Agate.
エステル、何しに来やがった。ここは俺の担当だろう。
Fine. Like when I get my hands around that jerk's neck, I mean that's certainly how I feel. Oh.
お疲れ様です。何か。
Nice. Incomplete. There we go. No more requests. So we just focus main story. Let's go to the other embassy. We went to that one. Now we gotta go to this one up on the north side. Are they back?
あ、皆さん、つい先ほどダビル大使とミラーさんが。
それじゃ
かしこまりま。どうぞお通りください。大使館の敷地内は違う。
Got it. Here we go. Oh, this one's even fancier. What the fuck? Oh, hi, Ace. You're under my desk. What's up, dude?
ほう、こりゃまたり。
カルバード大使館に劣らず豪華な雰囲気の内装ね。
Walker. Okay.
それにして力強い雰囲気、帝国風の調度で
帝国の意向をアピールする舞台。残念ながら役者の方がやや見よ。
何を不穏なことを抜かしているか。
Well, hello. Please, like, punch Olivia or something. That'd be really funny.
親愛なる友よ。久しぶりだね。元気にしていたかい？
貴様というやつはあれほど常に所在を連絡しろと言いつけていたにもかかわらず
これも恋の駆け引きさ。離れているからこそ募る思いもあるものだからね。
エステル君、感謝する。どうやらこのお調子者が迷惑をかけてしまったようだ。
ま、それほどでもなかったわ。比較的おとなしくしていたしね。
まあ、そこの変人はどうやら帝国大使館に。
Yep.
実はここの
Dire to meet with the ambassador concerning the
あの
letter.
脅迫状か。自分も気にはなっているが、王国軍の依頼ということかな。
一応そうだ。できるだけ中立の立場で調べさせてもらう
いい心がけだ。それでは自分の方からそのお調子者よりは信用してもらえる。
いいの？
いや助かるぜ。
ありがとうござい
そんなに僕って信用ない？
Sorry, if I'm not talking much, I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit.
でも思ってたの？
ま、お前さんの紹介だと。
ごめんなさい、オリビエさん。
賢明な判断だ。ダビル大使は2階の執務室にいる。確認を取ってくるから。
Can I explore this manor? I can! 2 weeks away now? I know! I'm still waiting for it to go on pre-order. Oh hey, it's been a while, Olivier. Are these your guests? Indeed, one could call them guests, but I'm more inclined to think of them as my soulmates. Our days spent together have been so tender, so sweet. I feel to merely call this forced love does a disservice to our bond. Is that not so, Estelle? Why? Wait, does that mean you've dumped Mueller? My head hurts. I think I'm starting to understand Mueller's suffering. Yes, put up with Olivier every day. We all understand his suffering. As wonderful as Olivier is. The closest imperial city to Liberal borders is a place called Harm. I'm actually from there, by the way. It's close to Bose, which makes it convenient to return home for visits. Of course, it's not so convenient to visit the imperial capital from there. There aren't any public scheduled liners in Erebonia, so I have to switch over to the railway system. Hey, Olivier. I heard you went to the hot springs. I'm so envious. I've been working until I'm dead on my feet getting ready for the signing ceremony. Sucks to suck. All the books in this room were published in Liberal. Learn about someone's nation. Start with their culture. You're free to read them, but please put them back where you found them once you're done. Oh, please don't tell me there's another. Alright, well, let's see if I start losing my voice again. Imperial Chronicle. I stood there, upright in front of the revolving door, scuffing the heels of my boots against the ground. Pulling slightly on the collar of my trench coat, I dropped my chin and gazed at my partial reflection in the curved glass. Aside from my short-cropped hair, I wore a modest-looking double-breasted leather raincoat and a pair of special-order steel-reinforced boots, both of which at first glance appeared to be the most common of common apparel. Yet they were, in fact, much more than the naked eye could detect. My ordinary, average appearance. It was of just as much importance today as it had been on any other day in times past. Not far off, the sounds of footfalls echoed rhythmically like the steady beat of a pendulum swinging back and forth as the throngs of those coming and going moved quickly along the cobblestone avenue, enveloped and tinged in silver by the morning mist. At times, the calling voice of a street peddler disrupted the steady flow, but as soon as the hawking cry faded away, it would resume its course. I'm not stinky! What the fuck? You're the one who's stinky. You're the one who's been doing push-ups. Join him in the shower because you both stinky? Later. Later. That's for later. That's for after stream. That's not on stream content. Each morning that I found myself setting foot in the Imperial City, I also found my surroundings to be unchanged and stained by the same somber tone of gray. Snatching up a magazine from the underarm of a street vendor, I tossed a few Mira in the left hand poised expectantly behind his back. The Imperial Chronicle, the magazine I read so often that even the ink bleeds were familiar. Roughly flipping open its cover, I scanned the headlines along the top of its monochrome pages. Then suddenly, my breath caught in my throat. I'm banning Simon again? Do it. You have your sword. You may use it as you please. At the very bottom of the local news page, I found those letters, that sequence of characters which I had not heard nor seen since the time of that life-changing incident. My eyes instantly gravitated to the spot and for a time remained fixated. Ein Selnate. The very meaning of those letters became lost to my senses as I stood motionless, a gaze fixed on the same line of text until it all seemed to coalesce into a single blotch of ink. After a few seconds of blank comprehension, my vision settled and I wrenched my eyes to the beginning of the article. As I began to read, my memories verged on a single point in my past and then slowly started to run in reverse, heading for that fateful event 3 years prior to when his name was first introduced to me. He's in the shower? Oh no. Lurk mode? Okay, enjoy your lurk. It was on an afternoon all those years ago, on a day not unlike this one, where the capital was overshadowed by its typical gloomy aura. I was a little younger than now, a 22-year-old boy who stood silently in front of the boutique door as usual, double-checking his appearance before lightly treading over to meet, the Imperial Factory. It was on this day that it had been arranged for me to receive a new job from him, the shop owner himself. Although he was a drab middle-aged man, I, being the orbman enthusiast I was, had found myself as one of his few regular customers. I headed down a dank alleyway, and after passing through a partially rotted wooden gate, I could see the soft glow of the flickering orbital light just outside the entrance of the factory, whose structure was halfway below street level. I first began receiving jobs from Meech about the time when dissension began to occur in society over the 100 Days' War. It was during this period that relations between the Beryl Kingdom and the Empire were at their worst, and the importation of orbments had become almost non-existent. Conspiring with underground elements and planning a smuggling operation, Meech had made me out to be his accomplice in crime, but the job which I received by his hand was none other than that of the courier. Being nothing more than a commoner in my teens at the time I met him, and a juvie devoid of any connections in life besides, I naturally jumped at the opportunity without a moment's hesitation. Yet, even after relationships with the Beryl had returned to some degree of normalcy, I realized I was in no mood to give up my specialty, which focused mainly on the delivery of stolen goods. There's a bald man in my room! Oh, no. Well, I'll know when he's coming, because he can't hide. All the light will just shine off his head and be a beacon. The reason being, there was no job out there which could bring in the kind of Mira this one did. With an unrefined and inconspicuous appearance, I had countless times before hidden items of various sorts in my hat and trousers and made my way hither and thither between the borders of these neighboring nations. And though to my delight my wallet had become increasingly laden with the bounty of monetary rewards, I had routinely changed my alias as a precautionary measure. So much, in fact, that these false names had built up into quite a list over the last 20 years. I've been known as Phil the Frivolous, Rooney the Trickster, and even Chris the Coward. However, Meech had always called me by one name, Toby. This was the identity I'd used for my initial job, and the one I liked above all the others. Oh god. The train station. Hello there, Toby. You've come at just the right time. Greeting me with these words, Meech shuffled slightly in his seat behind the counter. The baked confection he had been eating was ever so carefully placed atop his lap to prevent it from falling onto the floor. He smacked both of his powdered sugar-covered hands together with a clap, and a cloud of white particles puffed into the air. The smell of sweet spices and baked apple pervaded the dimly lit shop. We had an item dropped off no more than a few minutes ago, he continued. Turning in his seat, Meech reached back and snatched up something wrapped in old magazine paper from off the shelf, tossing it to me. Knowing full well I wouldn't get any sort of answer, I asked anyway. What do we have this time? Laying out my railway and airship tickets, Meech ignored my question and said, "Make sure this gets to the same place as always." In his slow drawl, he added, "It would be in your best interest to keep your involvement to a minimum by leaving the business side of things to me and focus solely on getting the job done, Toby." He leaned back in his chair and let out a deep sigh, the balls of his fingers kneading the bags under his eyes. Then, once again, his large hand extended down towards the unattended cake resting on his leg. Before the sweet treat could reach his watering mouth, I had already made my way out the door of his tiny shop. As I walked, the waste paper bundle package bounced around inside the folds of my bag. By the feel of its shape and weight as it beat steadily against my side, I concluded the object in my possession was probably just more swag. It didn't make me nervous not to know what it was that I was carrying, for I had done this type of job many times before, and no matter what kind of trouble I found myself wrapped up in, I had always somehow managed to come out unscathed. In truth, my experience on the job had made me tough, and I had become so well versed in the art of orbital magic. So it was that when I laid my eyes on that rough-looking trio at the station, I felt no more knots of uneasiness in the pit of my stomach than was necessary for someone of my abilities. The platform for the train bound for Libero was a bustle with passengers awaiting its eventual arrival. Seeing that the benches were so crammed full of people they could have very well been a tin pack of packed sardines, I resigned myself to standing near the entrance as I patiently waited for the train to come in. Twisting my body in order to move the bag to my other shoulder, I noticed the figures of two men. Heads bent together and conversing in an inaudible tone, they stood just beyond the ticket gate, right about where the horse head of the Imperial emblem laid embedded in the ground in a grand mosaic of tiles. After a short interim, another man approached and joined in the conversation. From my own perspective, this was one ragtag group I most certainly couldn't have given a passing grade to based on looks. All three were extremely well built and sported the same haircut. To put it mildly, they stuck out in the crowd like a bunch of sore thumbs. I need a drink. Making sure to avoid eye contact with them as they glanced in my direction, I slung my bag back onto my shoulder and ever so calmly reached my hand into my pocket and ran the tips of my fingers across the surface of my orbment. A woman's voice reverberated within the walls of the station, notifying the passengers that the train had arrived. The low rumble of an orbital engine could be felt in the distance, and after a few moments, a large vehicle was seen rolling up on the shoulder. I muttered to myself, all is well, but the sound of my voice was drowned out by the din of the massive machine. Brakes screeched, and a flash of black light reflected off the surface of the giant iron beast as it came sliding in across the rails. The immense vibration in the air emanated from the moving locomotive at its epicenter let me know that the orbital engine had been put into full reverse in order to decelerate and bring the train to a grinding halt. While being shoved to and fro by the waves of impatient travelers flooding out of the waiting area, I was swept toward one door of a passenger car. As we passed by the conductor, I caught another glimpse of the ticket gate. The men who were once there were now gone, and the only thing that remained was the profile of the horse made of glossy tiles, glaring back at me in a shade of deep crimson. Okay. I want to read the rest of these, but I am losing my voice. I'm straight up losing my voice. And I kind of need that for work tomorrow and stream tomorrow. So I think this is where I'm gonna have to call it, unfortunately. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna come to this and put on a little bit of music here.